hold on to my eyelashes, my hat and everything, screamed Barbara Cartland when reminiscing about her ladies' race at Brooklands in November 1930, which was covered by many newspapers as a farce, which to some, of course, it was, but to others it showed the revolution that had become women on the race circuit. Here we are in the ladies' reading room at Brooklands, and right from the beginning, when it opened in 1907, ladies could come in and write letters and read in between their races or whilst their husbands were on the track. About 15 years ago, I was sent through Country Life as a photographer to go and photograph at Goodwood Revival. As a theatre photographer, these two worlds fabulously collided together, and I saw so many girl racers. Ladies such as Dorothy Levitt in 1906 broke the ladies' speed record by reaching 96 miles per hour, and who I believe had mentioned that it was always handy to carry a glass mirror with a handle to not only put one's lipstick on, but you can see what might be following you. Thus the development of the wing mirror in 1914. It was a few years ago when I went to Monte Carlo for the historic Grand Prix, and I heard about this woman, Mrs. Victor Bruce, who at the age of 15 got caught for speeding on her brother's motorbike, and then when she was old enough drove from Johnny Groats down to Monte for the Monte Carlo Rally. She drove for 70 hours non-stop, came 6th overall and won the Coupe de Dame, and then 6 weeks later drove 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. And then apart from that, she was walking along Burlington Gardens and bought a fold-up plane and flew solo around the world. I became fascinated with these women who simply didn't know they couldn't, who just knew they could. I think one of the aspects that gives this fabulous high is the freedom of where you can travel to, and being faster than somebody else. There's always that competition element. And if you've got that fighting competition inside you, a car is an exquisite way of expressing it. I'm really interested in modern day girl racers. With all these women, the historic women and the contemporary women, made me take my racing licence this summer. At Silverstone, while I was taking my licence, and I was going around the fast corners and the slow corners, and I was really thinking about Mrs. Victor Bruce, Doreen Evans, Kay Petra, all these fabulous women that were driving historically and these women that are driving today. If they can do it, I can do it. This book will contain photos of old and new, many of which have never been seen before, hiding in archives and private collections that for most might have seemed irrelevant. But for me, this is my passion to search for the collection that has quietly been resting on an unsuspecting shelf for many years. Words by some of these fabulous historic women, and of course by yours truly, accompany my own photographs of modern women drivers on the racing circuit, and retired ladies who may have put down their racing gloves, however, still have the devilish vivacity in them with all the exuberance that one can expect from such a woman. It's a pictorial book, as well as a reference and a historical book, but it's not necessarily documentary, it's more in the life of how they lived, and showing the fascination that these women had with the passion for speed.